Welcome to Access, the show that lights up PS3 like a ray of high-def sunshine. Coming up in episode 42, we're in lovely Paris for the equally lovely Japan Expo, and rounding up the best content from the PlayStation Store. First up though, it's fistfights and Hong Kong in our Game of the Week, Sleeping Dogs. If you ever come across a man having a full-on fist fight with the air in the middle of a busy highway, spare a thought for his sanity, would you? Because he's probably cracking under the intense strain of being an undercover cop in Hong Kong's shady underworld of vests and swearing.
I don't like this cocky little
Enter Wei Shen, a man charged with burrowing through Sleeping Dogs' triad hierarchy by the crisp English authority of Tom Wilkinson.
You must be a very dangerous man, Wei Shen.
Keeping the crooks happy and your cover intact means two things. Firstly, the local tattoo industry is booming, and secondly, your fists are about to get covered in massive amounts of face juice.
Come and get me!
Grisly martial arts combat is at the heart of Sleeping Dogs, so it's a good job the system is brilliant. Wei Shen can dish out bone-cracking combos through a simple mix of tapping and holding square. Tap it repeatedly to launch a flurry of punches, or hold it to charge up a spinning kick or a knee to the gut. You can also counter Batman style when opponents flash red, but Sleeping Dogs really hits its stride with the environmental finishing moves. Not only do these look outrageous, they provide a perfect opportunity to come up with a bunch of fan-tastic put-downs. How's this for trash talk? We're closed. This one is a fan favourite. Completing missions, which usually involves turning bad men into dead men, gains you the obligatory splurge of cash and XP, with the latter split into Pop XP or Triad XP depending on the actions you've taken. From there you can unlock beefier combos or just blow all your hard-earned dollar on shirts and sneakers. Sleeping Dogs also does an admirable job of making its vehicles not rubbish, with the motorbikes in particular transforming Hong Kong into a blur of grime and neon as you hurtle along at silly miles per hour. As with any open world title, however, it's the freedom of action and lack of consequences that really makes Sleeping Dogs a thing of beauty. Hong Kong is an exquisitely realised sprawl of grunge, light and verticality, and is one of the most detailed PS3 playgrounds we've ever arsed around in, turning that wall, this dockyard and that hospital reception desk into impromptu tools of civilian assault. Sleeping Dogs is out on August the 17th and comes as highly recommended as always wearing a crash helmet. Sucking juicy news marrow from the bones of lies now, it's your PlayStation briefing. First up, there's news of fresh faces in the lineup for PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. And when we say fresh, we mean the grizzled frown of Tekken's Heihachi Mishima and the penciled-in mouthparts of oddball manga cat Toru Inoue. They'll be lining up against the likes of Nathan Drake, Sly Cooper and Kratos come the game's launch on PS3 and PS Vita this October. And we'd love to control them both. Hello, Bagsy Heihachi. We recently got to grips with a sizable portion of Borderlands 2, the game where guns are as widespread as oxygen. Afterwards, we sat down with President of Gearbox Software, Randy Pitchford, and asked him just what makes a gaming gun brilliant.
You know, there are millions of weapons in Borderlands 2, so it's really difficult to call out. I tend to like things that have really interesting scopes and really interesting sight pictures. Something like 4 or 5 barrels to it, and it's really rapid fire. You'll become a full-on bullet hose. Just throwing out. You can't even hear the space in between the shots. Throwing out bullets, and then when the weapon's empty.
He's still there, bless him. Moving on, Assassin's Creed enthusiasts will no doubt be aware that a silver screen adaptation of the beloved franchise is currently underway at Ubisoft Motion Pictures, because apparently a sweeping tale set during the American Revolution that includes screen-shuddering naval battles just isn't cinematic enough. One thing the movie has that Assassin's Creed 3 doesn't, however, is Hollywood flavour of the moment Michael Fassbender, who'll be donning the iconic white hood of an as-yet unknown assassin. More news when we get it, but in the meantime, let's all look at Assassin's Creed 3 again! Yay! From films of games to games of films now, as the Expendables 2 video game announces itself with characteristic restraint. We're going to go out on a limb here and say this might involve some shooting. And that's that's Expendables 2 coming to PlayStation Network on August the 1st. That's your briefing done for now. We'll be back with more news next week.
Switch to the next gun, switch to the next gun, switch to the next gun. By the time you come around again, you'll have gotten kills, which will
Time to get downloadable now as we take a look at the week's best content on the store. Attention pinball enthusiasts, guess how good you've got it this week? Double good is the answer we were looking for, as Pinball Arcade is now on both PS3 and PS Vita. The even more excellent news is it supports cross-play between the two consoles, and then there's the obvious perk of you being able to play pinball without the bother of traipsing down to your local arcade, because let's face it, arcades smell like sugary sick and the donuts are always rubbish. Also in the store this week is NASCAR the Game Inside Line, the perfect tonic for racing aficionados with a phobia of turning right. It's also about driving insanely fast, as this trailer is helpfully not showing. No, really, there is racing in this game, we promise, although a magic shifting car would be handy for bamboozling traffic wardens. And there's even more American sport on offer this week as MLB 12 The Show hits PlayStation Vita. EA Sports' peerless baseball sim is as big as FIFA on the other side of the pond, and now you can find out why it's so highly regarded by sticking it on your handheld. Yeah, it's still just rounders with silly helmets though, isn't it? We finish things off with a pick from the video store, where this week we've got a double helping of Handsome in This Means War, a light-hearted but full-fisted love story that sees CIA agents Chris Pine and Tom Hardy smacking it out over the affections of Reese Witherspoon. On the explosions and spy planes count, it convincingly outscores the Queensberry Rules rat-a-tat between Colin Firth and Hugh Grant in Bridget Jones' Diary, and contains more well-sculpted torso than a Roman art museum. All in all, This Means War isn't half bad if you like guns, bras and impeccable eyebrows. That's your lot for now. We'll have more from the store next time. This week on Access, we pressed X for Jason, just for a laugh, and this chap showed up at the office. His name is Jason Dewey, and he didn't really just pop out of nowhere. He is in fact an upstanding member of the Access community, who we invited along for a behind-the-scenes look at how the magic happens. Take it away, Jason.
Well, I've just been helping the team make the Access videos. I've been editing different segments of the show. I've been capturing some really cool video games like Sleeping Dogs and Quantum Conundrum. I even wrote a small segment in this week's episode.
Having Jason in the office has been fantastic. He's been giving great support to Rob on the scripts. And on the camera side of things, he's really improved the shooting efficiency of Dan and Dave. And our video editor Becky has been showing him how to cut things really nicely. So yeah, I was really pleased.
My favourite member of the team is probably Nathan.
All right then, Jason, what was the highlight of your time in the Access TV office?
Hearing Lucy Porter read out the words I've written for one of the sections. That was really satisfying for me to hear.
Oh, OK, you can release his family now. A massive thanks to Jason for all his help over the last 2 weeks, and apologies for any lasting trauma. Konnichiwa and welcome to France. No, wait, that's not right, is it? Bonjour and welcome to the Japan Expo. Confused? Don't be. For Access All Areas this week, we hopped across the channel to Paris for a celebration of all things Japanese. From amazing anime action figures and a spot of wrestling to dancing robots and samurai. Along for the ride was Access competition winner Laura Dobson, who seemed a bit excited.
So I'm absolutely super excited to have a look around and to see all the sights. I think it's going to take more than a day, and I've just been bouncing off the walls all week waiting to come here.
Amongst all the purse-sapping souvenirs, we bumped into Tekken producer Katsuhiro Harada, who couldn't talk to us because he was too busy taking photos of his own bloody stand. Fine then, Harada-san, we'll go and have a chat with someone else. That someone else turned out to be Tales of Grace's producer Hideo Baba, who Laura was very pleased to meet. We then forcibly stuck our microphone to Baba-san's chin and asked him what sort of character he'd be if he got sucked into his own game.
It's difficult to choose one type of character because I like them all, but if I was in the game, I'd probably be like Malik, because when he was designed, we gave him a beard like mine.
And seeing as how we're getting an additional game on top of Tales of Grace's this year, we asked Baba-san what we can expect from Tales of Xillia.
そうですね、やっぱり
Well, you should be excited about Tales of Xillia mainly because of the storyline. Loads of Japanese players have been enjoying the game for years, so we're excited to finally let the UK audience play it.
まあ
Thanks to Baba-san and thanks to Laura too. From everyone here in Paris, sayonara. Before we go this week, we thought we'd get all smarty-arty and show you some of the lovely paintings in Quantum Conundrum. Here we have the world's first and only elastic dog. And to your left, ladies and gentlemen, we have Child on a Suitcase number 14. But the observant among you will notice the paintings change depending on which dimension you're in. For the fluffy dimension, things become all cute and cotton woolified, while in the slow time dimension, they get covered in cobwebs. But our favourite dimension has got to be heavy, where, well, just take a look. Rock on, Grandad! See you next week.